I'm Liz. Thank you for joining me on today's podcast. We're diving deep into the evolving world of Nollywood with an amazing guest who has made a significant impact in the industry from the early days of his career into navigating the cinema culture. And today we're making wave and getting real about fame, storytellings, and legacy. Get ready with me to join the incredible Mr. Femi Brash as we embark on this amazing conversation. Thank you so much, Mr. Femi, for joining me.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here.
So I'll go straight to my question. First of all, I want to say I really appreciate you. I grew up watching you. It's not about making you feel old.
Well, it's a pleasure, and that doesn't make me feel old.
Very necessary.
Right.
So I will ask you my first question, sir. How did you venture into the movie industry?
All right. So, I actually discovered movies. That was in I think it was my second year in the university at the Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife. We just had one of us who was also freelancing for a production company in Lagos then, just called us that, okay, I don't know, I think before then, we had a production at the department called Orino. That was actually my first film. It was a Yoruba film, yes, my bad. So Orino, so the production or the acting company, which are the staff hired by the dramatic arts department, were professional actors who work for the department. So they were putting together a film and they needed students for extras. So that was the very first time I would go on a movie set. That was in school. The second time would be when one of our students who freelances for a production company in Lagos, called us, as Awuba Bob Manuel, called us, some of us, to also play extras for a movie production in Lagos. So that was it. That was how I came into movies.
That was what year, sir?
More or less. This was
If you can remember, if you can recall. Otherwise,
this was like 91. Yeah, 91, 92. 1991, 92.
Oh,
Right.
that's a whole lot ago. I wasn't even born. Okay, so
Can you imagine?
which film, or should we say which role really challenged you the most? Or let's say made you emotional during your career?
Well, a role challenging me doesn't necessarily have to translate to it being an emotional role. I mean, roles challenge you in different ways. It might be physically, it might challenge you physically. Maybe you have to exert a lot of energy to enact certain scenes or whatever. Or it might be something that is actually very deep that you have to draw from within yourself and all that. So, I'll say till date, the most challenging role that I've had till date, I would say would be playing Bashoroga in House of Ga. I would say that because that challenged me both physically, psychologically, emotionally, in every way. I had to tap into everything that makes me an actor to be able to deliver that role. Because if you watch the film, you will see that there are so many points in the movie where I had to go through physical exertion. Of course, we had to learn horse riding and all that. Then there was a scene at the end of the film where Bashoroga was killed, where I was taken to be burnt and all that. That scene was a very physically and emotionally racking scene. Then of course there was when my sons died, and I had to just dig into something and somewhere just bring out that emotion. And I think that is why the scene remains the most iconic for a lot of people who actually watch the movie. So yes, I would say it will be playing Bashoroga in the House of Ga movie.
Very understandable. I agree with that, sir. So, in your opinion, how can you describe the current state of Nollywood right now? The industry of the past and now almost seems like two different industries entirely. In your opinion, what can you say the difference between the two industries? It's one industry, obviously, but it looks like we're in two separate industries.
Well, I mean, it's normal now. Growth is inevitable. I mean, even if you look at Hollywood, if you look at the old Hollywood and the present day Hollywood, the kind of advancements that they have made in terms of technology, in terms of, I mean, we're talking about CGI, we're talking about what they can do now, even with sound, with special effects and all of that. And you compare it to old Hollywood, you know, where they started from and everything with the still pictures, no sound and all that. So it's definitely also looks like two different worlds. So it's not like we're the only ones that are evolving. I mean, we're evolving, and I think the fact that there's so much difference between now and then shows how much we have grown and how far we have come, you know. So I think it's remarkable because despite all the challenges that we have in this part of the world in making film, the environmental challenges, the governmental challenges, even the in-house challenges in the industry and all of that. I mean, I think we've given a very good account of ourselves. You know, we used to be the highest movie producing nation, you know, in the world. I think it was the third highest, but the ranking was based on quantity, not on quality. But now I think we have our films now being screened at different festivals and receiving very good accolades and all of that. We have our films on platforms like Netflix and Prime, and they're on the global platform, and they're competing with films on the global scale and even beating them, you know. We have our cinemas now thriving. Before, when our cinema culture came back, it was mostly foreign films, American films that you will see at headlining at the cinemas. But these days, it is Nigerian films. In fact, if any foreign film comes out, when a major Nigerian film comes out, it is dead on arrival. So I think that is amazing, and it shows how much progress we have made within a space of just how many years. So I think old Nollywood would be very proud of new Nollywood right now. Yeah, I think we've really done good. Of course, there's always room for improvements.
And also, sir, Nollywood has become an easy access, you know, compared to before. That now made us have, should we say we have more actors than the viewers, actually?
More actors than what?
Almost more actors than the viewers. Because it has become an easy access than before.
How can we possibly have more actors than the viewers?
Probably I might be exaggerating a little, but it seems so that we now have more actors than the viewers as a result of having an easy access.
Well, I get the point you're trying to make with easy access, but of course, I believe you are joking when you say we have more actors than viewers, because that is never even possible. Well, let me point out one thing, that it has always been the easy access. I don't know if easy access is what I would call it, but I think you are right somewhat.
Should I say easy entry?
No. I mean, any which way, it's still the same thing. Yeah. No, I agree with you. But it's not new. It's not new. You know, it's not new. I mean, it's always been like that. In fact, let me even say that somehow that was how the industry was founded. That was how the industry was really started, if we really look at it. Because our founding fathers, the people that started the industry, started in the sense that the people that if we are not counting the main people, like the person that first put film in the home video, or first did the first cinema production and everything, if we're not talking about those ones who were obviously trained professionals, you know. If we talk about people that have taken up the mantle since then, how many of them actually have formal training? How many of them actually went to school to study filmmaking, you know? So, I mean, it has always been there from the beginning. So, what we have a unique style here, which is through apprenticeship, you know. This person comes to me, this person, okay, I want to learn, I want to start acting and everything. They say, okay, you have to register with my group, then you have to be coming for the hazards and training and all that. I mean, which is okay, because that's also a form of training. It's whether you call it formal training or informal training. Like I always advocate to people, I'm like, look, get training. Because this is a discipline, this is a profession. This is not some game or something that you or some hobby that you can just fly in from somewhere and say you too are. When I hear people say, sir, I'm sure I can act too, I'm like, really? You can act? Okay. Congratulations. You know, then I want to act, I'm like, can you walk up to a lawyer and say what you just said to me now? Can you walk up to a doctor? Even a policeman, can you walk up to a policeman and say, I'm sure I can catch thief, I can be a policeman. So why do you think you have to, you understand, why do you think you can walk up to me? It's disrespectful. So that means you are saying what I'm doing is nothing, what I'm doing is no big deal. My profession, you are telling me that it's no big deal, any idiot can do it, you know? Exactly. And when you put these clowns in front of the camera, that's when they actually understand that this thing is not child's play. You understand? So people just believe that acting is just your ability to just speak, to just say lines or react to some certain kind of actions. They think that's all acting involves. And that's why a lot of them have failed. They come in, they crash along the way when they find out that this shit is actually more serious than they thought it was.
It's not for them.
Sorry?
So, and they find out this acting is not for them.
Yeah, exactly. You know, there was a time that some of them believed that, okay, fine, the best way for them to come in is by getting money and producing their own films. So if they can produce their own films, they too can. Yeah, some of them succeeded actually, unfortunately. Some of them succeeded and are still there today, even though they are struggling. You know, but a lot of them fell off along the way. You know, so that's it. So we've been speaking about having regulation all these years. We'll try to do it at different times, but because the industry is not united, that's the problem we have. We are not united.
Okay, sir. This brings me to the question: what does it truly take to be an actor? What should it take to be an actor? Except apart from attaining a degree, what does it take to be an actor?
Well, the thing is, of course, you have to have talent, because that's like primarily the main thing. You have to have talent, you understand? Then you have to possess the commitment and the passion that is required for the craft. Then you have to get training. It is very essential. It is not enough for you to have talent if you do not have training. Talent can only take you so far without training. So, and I tell people, you do not have to go to the university to get a degree to be an actor. If you can, beautiful, fantastic. But if you cannot go to, get any kind of training. You know, there are so many institutes these days. You have, what they do as a Pencils Institute. You have the television colleges. You have so many other, institutions. You know, even some run by private individuals. Like some actors have schools, acting schools and everything. Just get training, because it is a profession. It is a profession, and there are dynamics to this thing. There are rules, there are do's and don'ts and everything. So, it is when you go to get trained that you actually understand that acting is actually a lot more than you think it is. So, for you to be an actor, to answer your question very simply, you must possess talent, the passion, then you must get trained. Simple.
Thank you so much, sir. This brings me to the question. I've actually asked someone this question before, but I don't know if I was able to get the answer I was really looking for. I believe you're in a very good position to answer me. Okay, we were talking about the actors we have now compared to the ones of before, just your life also. Is there any person in the industry you really think can interpret a character, like the likes of Genevieve? These are people always coming to my head. You yourself, Omotola, just to make sure few, sir. Do you have anyone like that currently that can pull through a character, interpret, really embody a story?
Well, with respect to the people you have mentioned, I'm sure that if you ask them themselves, they'll probably name like 10, 20, 30 people for you. If you ask Genevieve herself, I'm sure she too will name some. If you ask Emotola, I'm sure she too will name some. Of course, there are people. There will always be people that, you understand? You know, there will always be people that are as good as you or even better than you. You understand? So, yes, I wouldn't say there are no actors or no actresses that are better than Genevieve or that are better than Emotola and all that. Of course, there are a lot of young, fantastic actors, you know, who have also come into their own, you know. Some are even still coming up, but you see it in them, you see the potential, you see that in them, you know. When you mention such people and you try to compare young upcoming actors to them, you know, what becomes the obstruction is their image and their name and their reputation that they have built over the years. So that now makes someone to think that, how can you be comparing a legend like this to, but you're talking about acting. So the question is about their acting.
Not their personal life, not their achievement.
Yes, not their achievement, not their miles, not the name, not the rebel. If you're talking about acting, even me, Femi Branch, if you're talking about acting, of course there are young actors who can come on now. You know, but we go battle them out. So we go, no, forget about it.
Sir.
Yeah.
Okay. How do you manage the pressure to manage? Are you able to manage the pressure to public expectation and staying true to your value?
Thank you for this question. I was reading a post this morning about a colleague of mine. The wife of a colleague of mine who just left. They fell apart, and I just saw a post where she did that she was saying she doesn't want to talk and blah 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 and all that. Then I saw some posts from a colleague of mine as well. It's also who came online and was talking about, saying her marriage had broken up and everything. She just dropped it there. She didn't give details of her marriage. And she just felt she needed to let everybody know. And I tell people this thing that you don't owe anybody. That's the phrase I hate to hear. I feel you guys have the right to know.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy to have this conversation with you, honestly. Go on, sir.
Yeah. You know, because I feel you have the right to know. I feel like my fans can. You know, they don't have the right to know jack shit. That's why it's called your private life or your personal life. Look, I tell people that the only thing you have a right to as the audience or as my fans is my body of work. Is my work. That is the only thing that you, as someone that claims to like me or like my craft and everything, that's the only thing that you have a right. I mean, when I do a job and I didn't do it well, that's when you have the right to say, we paid money for this, we went to the cinema. You understand? We went to the cinema to watch this, we're not, I know, it's like your standard is dropping on your clinical. That is when I owe you an explanation as an actor, you understand, as my fan. I owe you, I'm really sorry, actually. I'm sorry to have disappointed you. I'm sorry you guys didn't like that, but this is what we're trying to do. But okay, maybe you didn't like. Don't worry. Next time we'll promise you something better. So I owe you that because I don't want to lose you as a customer. I don't want to lose you as a fan. So I want to, so that's why I would do that. But when it comes to my personal life, it has nothing to do with my being an actor in my professional life. You need to respect those boundaries. That's why you hardly see me post anything personal on my social media. You hardly see me post my children or my wife. You hardly see that. The only time once when I get on their birthdays and after like a day or two, I take it down. You know, because I tell people that it is what you feed the audience that they can use against you. It is what you feed the public that they can use against you. That's what these bloggers can use against you. You understand? And I notice a trend also that they don't celebrate it when we do what they don't celebrate our work as much as they celebrate our problems or our so-called scandals. They don't celebrate it. So I've come to a point where I've realized a long time ago that, look, you don't owe anybody anything when it comes to your personal life. It is not their business. For the sanity of yourself, your family, you are better off keeping your personal life off social media, off the press, off the media generally. Do you understand? So, because a lot of people right now are in problems because they divulge too much about themselves. I'm telling you, I feel like you owe nobody nothing because they are not putting food on your table. Nobody then go pay your bride price when you go do that marriage. So what's their business? If the marriage falls apart or whatever. Does your marriage fall apart? Does it diminish you as an actor? Does it reduce your talents? Does it reduce the number of things?
I don't feel like it's a public validation, let's say so.
Yeah,
even without being asked.
Yeah, that is somebody that does not have self-esteem, I'm sorry to say. Because if you believe in yourself as a professional, you have self-esteem. You don't have self-esteem issues, as in your self-esteem is intact and all of that. You do not need public validation from anybody. Because you need to understand that these people that you are looking for public validation from don't even give a hoot about you. It's just some random idiot sitting behind one cheap phone and everything, using like some 10 MB data that is remaining in his phone to just write rubbish and do rubbish. He doesn't care about you. After he finishes commenting on your post, he's scrolling, he's looking for the next whatever. If they say something happens to your enemy, like, can you call this one here? Once you don't comment, you don't go to the next person's page. So they don't care. So why do you now think that you owe them anything? What makes you think they care about you? They don't care about you. I say boldly, they don't care.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
The point is that you don't owe anyone your personal life explanation.
That's right.
You don't really need to explain your personal life.
Don't.
And I just hope and wish that the better, the more people understand this, the better for them.
That's right.
But I just feel like they don't get the point. They get it all mixed up, thinking their career, everything should be out there. Pretty bad. Okay, sir. Do you think actors and filmmakers, so let's say filmmakers, are being compensated enough for their creativity?
That's definitely a big no. That's definitely a big no.
Are you saying a big no because you're part of, you're a filmmaker, you're an actor?
Because I'm what?
Are you saying a big no because you're also a filmmaker?
Before Uncle, how else would I know it's a no? Of course, I'm speaking from experience as well. You understand? So, I'm an actor, yeah, I'm a filmmaker. You're asking me if I feel that we are being welcome. Of course, I'm answering personally. And based on experience and based on what I know, people around me as well. That's, of course, we are not being adequately compensated for our craft. We are not. That's an open secret. There is the concept that you can never actually pay the value of a work of art or the content of a creative, that you can never actually pay the true value of it. That one is different. Do you understand? Because I alone can put value on my creativity. I alone can tell you that this is how much this is worth. Like I was discussing with somebody a couple of days ago, and we were talking about me producing a film, and the whole conversation came up that somebody was saying they call somebody else that would do it cheaper. And I'm like, yeah, of course. I mean, there are millions of people that will do it cheaper than me, but I'm Femi Branch. And that's the value that I placed on my name and my brand. So if you want Femi Branch, if you want to have the bragging rights that Femi Branch did this for me, or I hire Femi Branch to do, if you want to, because I'm giving you that bragging rights, then you have to pay for it. And I alone determine how much you pay for it. We can negotiate, we can discuss, I can concede, I can come up, I can come down, fine. But you don't impose a fee on me, or you don't tell me how much I'm worth. I tell you how much I'm worth. Then we can now negotiate. I can now come down to your level and help you. But I say, okay, fine, you don't have my worth. Okay, fine. Can you do this? Can you do that? Then we come to an agreement. So that is how it's supposed to be, whether for actors, or cinematographers, sound people, gaffers, whatever. Because we're not getting adequately compensated. And it's really sad because we are even on the better end of the stick. We have the better end of the stick because of our own position in the industry now, where God has brought us. A lot of people in this industry are very horrible people. They are very terrible, horrible criminals in this industry. Horrible people, bad, horrible people that put the lives of people at stake without. They don't even care. They don't even care. I mean, even the crew. In a lot of cases, the way the crew are treated. I mean, they are the ones that are on their feet from morning till night. The actor in between scenes can still sit, can still go into the room and sleep, can still do whatever, lie down in the car and collect AC. But the crew are on their feet morning till night. But they also get the worst treatment. They get the worst fees, they get the worst fees. There's just a few of them that are now maybe accomplished or established that get good fees now and get good treatment. But the majority of them, they get horrible treatment. They get put in the worst hotels, and they get put like God knows how many people in a room, and even the welfare. It's just horrible. It can be better. We can do better. We can do better.
I'm enjoying this conversation. I wish time permits us very well. Because of time.
Yeah.
So I'll go straight to my next question. How do you define legacy? And
Sorry?
what would you? How do you define legacy? And what would you want yours to be?
Okay, well, a legacy is something that that you leave behind, that people remember you by, which is supposed to actually have been something that you stood for while you were alive or in the course of your career. So a legacy doesn't have to be necessarily something that people see when you are dead, or I mean, you can establish or create a legacy even while you are still functioning, while you are still working, while you are still, you understand, you're alive. So a legacy is something, is like a set of principles or a set of standards by which you work, or by which you live, or by which you practice your craft, whatever it is. So I think we all need to be very mindful. Even this thing that I just talked about the way a lot of people are treated, or the way some people treat other people in the industry. I think it's because those people are not mindful of legacy. They are not mindful of it because, I mean, come on. Yoruba people have a proverb. They say, "Ashisile la boaba." I mean, it is what you do. It is what you do that people will see later or will judge you by. You understand? So I think we really need to be mindful of legacy, because if you are thinking of the kind of legacy you want to leave, you won't be treating people bad. You won't be an agent. Because that's another menace that we're facing right now. There are some people that call themselves agents. So if I'm a producer, I want to produce a film, they will bring extras for me. And then the producers, I as a producer paid the agent all the money of the extras. The agent will now not pay the extras. And then, it's a whole day. If you are thinking legacy, you won't behave like that. Do you understand? So for me, I would say the legacy that I don't know. I'm still a work in progress. I'm still working on it. But one thing that I stand for is I hate people being cheated, and I always run from cheating anybody. I hate seeing people being cheated or being mistreated. Mistreat me. It's better you mistreat me. Don't mistreat anybody around me. That's, for me, it's a problem. The fights that I've had with producers, serious fights that I've had with producers in the course of my career has been not because of myself. It has been because of other people. Maybe the way they treated one crew member, maybe the way they treated one extra on set or whatever. That has been my fight. So I believe in fairness. Treat people right. It doesn't cost you anything. It doesn't take you anything. If you don't have enough money, if you feel that let the person know.
Thank you so much, Mr. Femi. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Let's talk about mentorship. I believe in the word mentorship. Do you have someone you're currently mentoring in the industry? And do you have someone in the industry that you actually looked up to, that you can say this person was a mentor to me, that mentored you also?
Well, you see, the thing about mentorship is that it doesn't always have to be conscious. And what I mean by that is that we just talked about legacy right now,
Yes.
People are watching you. They are watching your life. They are watching the way you work. They are watching your work ethics. They are watching your style, your techniques. They are watching all that. So some people might actually be getting mentored by you without you even knowing.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Like, I want to mention his name respectfully. I'm not mentioning his name to catch crews as all these Gen Z people do, because this happened like 2 days ago. The new film that we have right now in the cinemas, which is Red Circle. Myself, I'm in the film. Toby Bakary is also in the film, and I just saw a post that Toby Bakary put on Twitter, and it was talking about me. Being a role model to him in this line of profession, that when I saw that, I was like really touched. We've had conversations before when we work together, and he has said same things, similar to that. I know that when we work together, we always talk. He's always coming and he's always asking me things. We're working and everything. Or I see something, I'm like, okay, Toby, why don't you try this, or let's do it like this? And I told you, I think I've told him once that, look, this is the reason that you're going to go far, because because that's the same thing I do when I'm on set with senior colleagues, especially people that I look up to. I don't have one mentor. I don't have one person I say, this is my mentor. But when I'm working with people who have been in this business before me, I watch them, I listen to them, I ask questions. You know, sometimes I even buy them things. Maybe they say they are selling one better party jollof rice around there. So I buy it, you know. That's how, what do you want to drink? You know, so aside from the fact that that's how I was raised, I mean, to respect elders and everything, but I also want to do that because I also want them to be very comfortable with me so that I can ask questions, I can do whatever. That is how I work. And it has helped me a lot. So if you're asking now who is my mentor in the industry, I might probably mention like 50 names because these are people that I look up to and I gain different things from different ones among them. You understand? So and if someone like Toby Bakre can say that about a Femi Branch that is a Roman and everything, you understand? So it tells you that mentorship doesn't necessarily have to be a conscious thing. It's just about you when you are doing the right thing, or when somebody somewhere feels you are doing the right thing, they get inspired by what you do. They might take from your technique. The interesting thing about me is I don't just get inspired by people who are older than me, or even younger people. Maybe that's why I'm still relevant. Especially
very
younger
relevant,
people.
sir. You can say that again.
Yeah, I'm telling you, especially younger. I get inspired by young people a lot. I watch their techniques. The ones that I know that are good. I watch them. I say we talk, we gist and everything and all that. Because these boys are gonna push you out of the business, man. Definitely. They're gonna knock you out, man. If you don't give yourself break.
Thank you so much, sir. Let's go a bit in the cinema. Okay, let's talk about producers. I've seen you come on live video before. I'm following you on Instagram. Where you spoke about what's happening in the cinema, about them taking. It looked like we're working like producers are working for cinemas mostly, and you laid a complaint about it. And I've seen a post from some of your colleagues also in the industry, and talking about same thing, where they say it doesn't work that way in otherwood, only Nollywood. They made mention of like the UK. They take allegedly take about 60%, and even at that, I don't see people speak about it more. Look like the producers, are they comfortable with it, or what is really this? What is it like?
Well, the truth is, I can't speak for anybody. I can't give a reason why somebody is silent about something that is supposed to be detrimental to his well-being or to his craft. I can't speak for anyone and say this is why somebody refused to react when they slapped him or whatever. I can't speak for anybody. But I will speak for myself. And I will speak for people who are close to me and who we have had conversations, and I actually know what their thought process is on this matter. The truth of the matter is that there's so many things that are not very ideal in the industry. So many things that are not very ideal. As we complain about actors not getting their fair treatment and everything, not getting their due, we also have producers, who, put a lot into getting funds and producing movies, and at the end of the day, they're having to face some cabal, if you will, that does not want them to profit from the work that they're doing. And the last time I spoke up, because that's why a lot of people don't speak, because they're afraid of being blacklisted.
Exactly.
They're afraid of being witch hunted. And I can speak up because I believe that I've gotten to a stage in the industry where nobody can blacklist me. They never born the person. You understand? And when I say, get me right, when I say no one can blacklist me, now God, not be by my power. As long as I've not done anything wrong, I've not gone after anybody's livelihood, I'm not doing bad for anybody, I'm just facing my work and I'm speaking the truth. And I'm speaking the truth.
Nothing but the truth.
The truth. They never born your father. You don't feel blacklist me. Who you be? I say with my full chest, full and a half chest. Now I take talking. As long as I'm saying the truth, because somebody has to say the truth. All of us can't just be afraid and we're crying, and the industry is dying. The industry is dying. It's not, hey God, I beg you. Do you understand? It's really terrible. Do you understand? It is really terrible. Yes, I believe that, yes, it's competition. Okay, fine. you and somebody else have your products out, you're trying to sell your market. Of course, everybody will advertise and you use whatever means to sell their markets. Do you understand what I'm saying? I mean, that is normal. So for that reason, I do not blame anybody for using any tactics. Trust me. And that's why when I said it the first time, some people thought I was talking about a particular person. Even the person thought I was talking about her. But it's funny because I'm talking about something that affects every one of us.
Like
I'm
we usually hear a lot of billions. Sorry, sir. We hear we hear billions. We hear millions, and more than half of the money is going to the cinema or whatever. I was like,
you understand? So that's why I was saying that I was talking to the cinemas. I was not talking to producers or actors. I was talking to the cinemas because we all know that the cinemas are the ones that are making the bulk of this money. They just sit there. They're not doing anything for us. They didn't contribute to the producing unless in situations where you partnered with the cinemas, that some cinemas do now. But when you produce by yourself, you understand, they didn't put a dime into your production and everything, and they just sit and just take a huge chunk of your proceeds at the end of the day. And everybody, see, let me say something. Everybody is suffering this. Everybody is suffering this. Even if you are making 1 billion in the cinema, or it's a person that is making 100 million in the cinema, everybody, because you are still paying the same percentage. So if you are making 1 billion in the cinema and you are taking a huge percentage of that, wouldn't you be happier? Isn't it better for you as a business person than you are making 1 billion and you are just taking a couple of hundred of millions home, and it is the cinema that collects the bulk of that? So that's what I'm saying. It's not just about figures that we're seeing. It is how much goes home with you at the end of the day. And the person that is collecting that chunk, does he have a right to it? We are the content producers. We are the content. But some person just sits there because you have an exhibition screen and everything, you feel that you are God and all that, and you collect a huge chunk. I mean, come on. Something has to be done about it. And we will not overcome this problem till we come together to first agree that we have a problem. Because right now, that's our problem. We are not united, so not all of us are even agreeing that we have a problem. Because some people feel that they are profiting from it, so they don't care. It is when the table shifts now that they are no longer profiting from it, that they will now come and say, hey, actually, that time we knew, but we were just blah, 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 blah. We have a problem. We have a problem.
That's the fact.
And the sooner we accept that we have a problem, the better for us. Yes, it's business. And this time around, I don't even want to blame anybody. I don't even want to apportion blame to anybody or anything like that. I'm just, because if that's what I did the other time, I was just saying my observation. But they will carry my words now. They will carry it now and now go and No, it's not fair, because by the time there are different ways they do these things. They can be very subtle about it. Do you understand? There are different ways they do it. You understand? Like, I went to watch our film Red Circle in the cinemas yesterday, and the theater that they give us, the room, the cinema that they give us was horrible. It was decrepit. As most of the seats were broken, there was no surround. All the sound we were getting was the one that was coming from the screen. There was no speakers. The speakers were not working.
In a cinema in Nigeria.
In a cinema, this is the opening night of the film. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So I don't know whether that is how all the rooms in that cinema are, or whether they just chose to give the better rooms to certain people and give the whatever rooms to other people. I don't know. So if you want to misquote me, go ahead and misquote me. Enjoy. Merry Christmas. That's your business. But that's why I'm trying to break what I'm saying down this time around very well.
Merry Christmas.
All I'm saying is that the room we're giving, that must not be how all the rooms in that cinema are. Because if not, they should be out of business. I'm sorry.
They need to step up their game. It's very important.
You understand? So maybe they now give that room to the one that they're not. I don't want to say one. I'll say nothing no more. If I was looking for my trouble, you always put hand in my mouth. When I now talk to God, the whole world now carry that. Femi Brand said, whatever.
I think they might be making you more famous, right?
You say?
They might be making you more famous. They might be getting
famous enough. Thank you. Don't worry. My famous is okay for me like this. I don't need controversy.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, Chef. Time will not permit us, but It's okay. I would ask you one last question before we go.
Okay.
What is that mistake that you will advise people never to make in life? It is said that a moment mistake can destroy a whole future. What would you say? What is that thing? This is not just in the industry, life in general. And why
Oh,
it shouldn't be made.
oh, deep. Mm, I think one thing we need to learn is to listen more and speak less. You know, listen more and speak less, and always resist the urge to shalaye. Because it destroys a lot of things. It destroys a lot of things. We should always try to resist the urge to explain when explanation is not necessary. Especially people that you do not owe explanation, do not have a right to your personal life or your personal space.
Exactly.
I think we should understand that there must be boundaries in life. There must be boundaries between your personal life, your professional life. There must be boundaries, and you must always be careful what you put out there, because what you put out there is what they are going to use against you in future. Trust me. They celebrated you, they congratulated you on your, hey, wow, nice car, nice car. They have screenshot it, they have kept that picture, they've munched it, they have kept it for you. The day that something now happens, you now hear that, okay, maybe the car dealer is now chasing because he didn't finish it. They will now bring it out again and say, he came out that day saying new whip, small girl, big girl. How did they used to say that? Big girl, small girl, what did they used to say? You understand? They will bring it out for you. Well, you say a new house, I got this and this. The next thing they find out that the house wasn't actually bought up or built, it was rented. They will now bring out. So it is what you throw out there for them that they will use against you. Resist the urge to just put your whole life out there in the public space, because it will come back to bite you in the ass. Trust me. Trust me. Keep your personal space sacred. Keep it is good for your sanity. And remember that this is not just about you. You have managed to know how to manage and navigate this business terrain and everything of this, especially this our entertainment industry. But your family do not have that responsibility. Your family shouldn't have to suffer that as well. So yes, by default, they don't have a choice. They will feel it once in a while. You go out publicly, they will harass you, put a camera in their face and all of that. But try and manage it as much as possible so that they don't feel the bitter end of it by putting them out, exposing them unnecessarily. I mean, these are things that I believe that if we put will give us less grief in the future going forward. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, Mr. Femi Branch. Thank you for doing this with me today. I must tell you, it's one of my favorite conversations I've ever had in my few experience. I don't take it for granted, and we're going to wish to have you again in the future. Thank you so much for blessing us with these amazing words and for your time. And do have a nice day, and we love you so much. Thank you for making our childhood memorable. Thank you for everything in general. A lot of thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you for the invitation. I really appreciate it. I do not take it for granted. God bless you.
You're
God
welcome,
bless you.
sir.
And I wish you the
All right,
best
sir. All
going
right.
forward and in the years to come. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right, sir.